retired. Those that are basically still interested want to come back, because if you look at history, after majority of them are retired from the various sports disciplines, they barely get involved in the national sports activity. So eventually, the knowledge that they've acquired throughout their journey, their career, it was and dies. So one of the things that he was doing is basically re-inviting everyone. That's why it's not surprising that you see the greatest legend sitting on the table. And you also have the renowned coach Sapon and the other coaches also available. So I think the database part is actually being covered, so I'll just move straight into it. Now, moving from region to discover talent, and then basically grooming talent, and have each 16 regions. For me personally, I want to see the orphan regions which is being created coming up with their solid team to come and represent their region and make their region proud. Because history, unless you're from Kumasi or you're from Accra, you don't even get invited into the National Football League or the Black Stars. This time around is an opportunity for us to discover the next Stephen Tornado from Oti region, the next Azuma Nelson from Ashanti region, the next Asamoah Gyan. It doesn't matter where you are, your talent will be discovered. You represent your region at the national level. Everyone in the country will see talent that Ghana has. And for me, I think this is a very fantastic idea. So, 3 areas, we have 4 exit strategies. That's what happens after the national sports development. Does it mean they go back to their regions and sit down without doing anything? No. The first exit strategy is through all regional games, and Asamoah Gyan and a few of his contacts are inviting international clubs to come to the final festival, okay? i.e. to discover talent. The second exit strategy is through this exercise, the various course of clubs might discover talent that would have cost them more money to actually discover them. So we're aiming that at the end of the National Sports Festival, we could get people to actually represent or play in the course as far as the various sports disciplines are concerned. The third exit strategy is what Asamoah Gyan is actually working on, which is working on international schools to actually provide scholarship for those that want to go back to school, and etc. So these are the 3 main exit strategies that we currently put in place. Of course, if a child gets discovered by an international club, their community, their family lives actually have changed. So these are some of the things that we've actually put in place. The other thing that we're also looking at is basically we're creating a regional community, okay, regional committee, I beg your pardon. The regional committee will have their RCC and a representative for the National House of Tea to sit on the committee. So for every funding that comes into all regional games, it's going to be divided among all the 16 regions. Whereas the region control the fund, of course you have to get approval from National Committee, but the regional control the fund and actually do the implementation. We don't want a situation whereby we sit in Accra and then basically we're commanding how revenue is supposed to be used. So for all the 16 regions who have the equal funding, obviously due to proportional calculations, maybe Asante region is a bit bigger than maybe Oti region, so there might be a few adjustments here and there. But the fundamental thing is all 16 regions will have the account. Whatever funding that ART has been able to raise will be divided among all the 16 regions to actually develop the sports within the region. That is one thing. The other thing also is we have the national committee that is also being set up. So the regional committees will feed into the national committee. So every decision that makes at the regional level will be sanctioned by the national committee. The other thing that we've also put in place is we understand that during the trial and then during the games itself, people might get injured, and we want to take the liability away from going back to their family. So one of the things he's done is also introducing an insurance companies who are coming on board that everyone participating within the sports during the trial and then the national, in case you get any injured, we pray that you don't get injured, but in case injury happens, the insurance company will take over and make sure you are being taken care of and being looked after. So these are the two things that we've actually put in place. And I think the CEO mentioned that this is non-political. This is about, he said something in the beginning. He said something in the beginning that it's about 10 years of waiting to see what will happen when his career comes to an end. And then this is one of the things that he's learned. He's gained more experience. He's got colleagues coming in. He's got experienced coaches coming in to actually implement. To actually implement this vision. So it is non-political, that I can assure you with that is non-political. So let's support the All Regional Games. It's here to stay. This event is every year. November 4th is already demarcated for the National Sports Festival every year. So the moment we are done with the National Sports Festival, around about February, the All Regional trials also begin. With the database, you cannot crisscross. You have to be a resident within that region because it's about discovering talent within the region, okay? So you cannot say, I'm from Oti, I live in Accra, so basically I'm going to register. You need to be a resident of Oti, and that's the reason why we're limiting it that all the regions have the various coaches so they can tell whether indeed you're a resident of Oti or not. If you lie on your application, and let's say you are finally selected, and you are discovered that along the line you lie, you are disqualified from the team. The next person will actually fill the space. So you have to be a resident in that particular region to actually qualify. Now, for the maiden edition, we're doing under 23, so from 18 to 23. The reason is the moment we go below 18, then you have to have the parental control. And then since it's the pilot, okay, so since it's the pilot edition, we want to minimize the liability in terms of getting guardian parental consent and other bits and pieces. So for the maiden edition, is between 18 to 23. Next year, by then, we would have learned from whatever mistakes that we'll encounter this year, and then basically we can actually open it up. With the sports discipline also, we've actually narrowed down to 9 of them because we feel it's easily manageable based on the analysis that we put into consideration. Next year, God willing, more funding, more experience, more people on board, we're opening up to do more of the disciplines as well. So if your discipline is not included in this year's edition, please do not worry. Next year, we're going to have opportunity to do other things as well. The website will be live at 12 o'clock. Okay, so when you go to www.allregionalgames, so it's all ALL, regional as regional, games with the S at the end.com. It's live. You can actually go there and register. The portal will be open for at least a month. After a month, the portal will be closed. So that means you cannot do registration again. The 2025 portal eventually will be open. So those who are not able to register for this year, you can also register for the 2025 edition as well. So we'll open it concurrently. The other part of it also is basically when the portal is actually open, it has basic information that we'll take from you: your name, your telephone number, your date of birth, your Ghana card. These are the basic information that we will take from the individual. Wherever you are in Ghana, thanks to the telcos, if you don't have a smartphone, your auntie, your cousin, your sister, your uncle might have a smartphone. They can actually help you register. It's about a couple of lines information that we take. So it is much easier. And with the media, I think I'll need your support on this. We don't have local offices. We don't have agents who are doing registration for all regional games. So if anybody comes to anyone who wants to register and say, give me money, I can put you in, give me money, it is not true. Simply go to allregionalgames.com and register on your own. Okay, so you do not have to have any agent or anybody promising you. And then also, we've actually put things in place that it is not a case of a particular coach pushing their people into the activity. So basically, that's why we're having the regional coaches to be responsible in getting involved in preparing, selecting the team, and also preparing the various athletes for the national festival. The final part of it also is when it comes to soccer. when it comes to the soccer, it's going to be more or less trials. So, like, there's a word for it. Justify your inclusion is the word I'm looking for. So, for the soccer, because we understand that a lot of people are going to apply when it comes to the soccer. The other sport discipline, like athletics, is about running and recording your speed. It's much easier. But for the soccer, we understand that it's going to be packed. So what we're doing is going to be justify your inclusion. So during the registration, so that I can actually take on that. During the registration, you have, let's say, from 1 up to 50, from 50 up to 100, from 100 up to 200. That will be the registration. So, for instance, can somebody have a look at the mic for me? So, for instance, the back-end admin team is going to put the names in blocks. So they will select, let's say, 1 up to 50 and say on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, this is where your trial is. So when they report to the field, the coaches will then form a various group of teams for them to actually do the playoff. So when you're doing the playoff, as the coaches are seated, they are selecting people with potentials. So it will go in that order until they got their final 23 to represent that particular region. Now, we're launching the main event on the 8th of June. 2 weeks after, we're launching the mini opening for the subsequent regions. And we're doing 4 regions in a month. We have 16 regions in total. So we're doing 4 regions in a month. So by the end of October, all the various regional trials are completed. Okay? And then the team has a month to prepare to actually come to Accra for the final sports festival. So this is the overview and this is the outline for what we schedule for this year. All right, thank you very much.